Hi, Nancy Forrester here. I'm the Executive Director of the National EFT Training Institute, where we have our framework that we call Conscious EFT. And I am thrilled to be here with Nicole Tomingas. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me.
So much. I know. Thanks for hanging out and having a coffee with me. And Nicole is one of our esteemed graduates. She is a certified Conscious EFT practitioner with NEFT and also a certified emotional success coach with NEFT. And she works with her clients around relationship with the people in their lives, all kinds of different relationships, right? Relationships with children, relationship with partners, relationship with siblings, with family of origin, and ultimately to help them see the conclusion that their relationship with themselves is the fundamental core of their relationship with every other person in their lives. So such beautiful transformational work you do.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah. One of the things I was thinking, Nicole, is you and I have been together for the long haul here. I can't remember the first time. Do you remember when you took your first Discover the Power of Conscious EFT program?
Original?
Yeah.
Or I think it was almost about 12 years ago.
Wow.
So 12 years ago.
Yeah, you've seen this evolution. I mean, you've been watching me on the side and supporting me on the side as I found my way with my concerns about the traditional EFT and some of the ways that I went, oh, I don't think this is really, helpful. I think in some ways it's not supporting people in their safety the way that we want. And, that's been a real struggle. But watching this evolution to this framework we call Conscious EFT, which is grounded in safety and grounded in this love and compassion and transformation of people's lives. So is there something you want to say about that process?
I would like to say something because I've been training with you for many, many years. And over the years, I've gotten to experience the evolution in your work and as well as mine. What I came to know and understand about myself is I'm more on the sensitive side. Personally, I would consider myself a highly sensitive person. And when I took the trainings in the older days and in the other ways, I don't think I felt maybe as supported as I do now. It's almost a greater, more holistic type of support that I receive within a training. It feels even safer to me as a sensitive person. I can feel the difference.
Yeah. Oh, I just love what you're saying, because that's the whole crux of what I'm attempting to bring. We know emotional freedom techniques. EFT it's a profound energetic way to work, and that's so necessary. But it's in these recent 5-7 years where we've learned about the neuroscience and we understand about the nervous system. And so bringing those two things together, we know now how to do EFT in a way that is going to be safer for the nervous system. And yeah, I can really appreciate that it would make a difference for highly sensitive people.
It really does. And just knowing that it's okay to respect the body and the system if they need to go slower. Stepping it back, it's okay. We don't need to rush or push through.
Right.
Doing the work.
Yeah, I can see how in the early days, I'll talk about myself, but in the early days of EFT, there was this energy of, oh my gosh, this is an amazing modality to get rid of stuff. It's like, oh, I'm feeling angry. I've got to get rid of that. I'll do some tapping on it. And that is like the absolute opposite of what it is we really want to help people with.
Yeah. Being okay with what is and working how we need to work.
That's right. Really dropping that, I know your work is specializing in relationship, and that's really what Conscious EFT is all about, our relationship with what is, and really recognizing the ways that we're in conflict with what is, and bringing our strategies that we teach and discover, bringing those strategies to come to a place of a calm acceptance and compassion for what is. And that, of course, that's the gateway to change. So it's a little ironic.
It is. And that kind of reminds me of one of the techniques that you actually teach in the trainings, which is holding the truth.
Yeah.
It's such a profound, gentle, soft, and so important piece of work and technique that we can offer the practitioners and our clients. That piece of work kind of gave me permission to be able to be more gentle and compassionate with my clients and also myself as well.
Absolutely. We come from a shame-based society. Like we talk about trauma. Well, what is the impact? The result of trauma is shame, the energy of shame in one's body. And the energy of shame, has us feeling, some self-loathing, some contempt, like that I'm not good enough, I have to be working harder or looking prettier, or I don't know what it is we're supposed to do to reach some standard of acceptance. But that shame is so difficult. And so this holding the truth technique, it's this gentle acknowledgement and holding of, that is what the experience is right now. And then coming from there, right, we talk about phase 1 and phase 4. And I get super excited about this because this is the neurobiological piece. But phase 1 being this acknowledging the truth of what is the suffering right now. We can't ignore the suffering that is the experience the client's having, but working with that phase 1 suffering until that nervous system says, I feel safe now, and it lets off these beautiful little sparks into new possibilities.
Yeah, and the neat part is when it just happens naturally, there's no force to that.
Exactly.
And that we can just allow it to happen naturally within a session, and all of a sudden, like you said, these little sparks start coming up, and it's quite a magical little time.
It is. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And it's wonderful to be able to hold the truth to, wow, like there's so many possibilities happening.
It's so much easier as a practitioner. When I started 30, 40 years ago, it's like I thought I was supposed to make something happen, and it was like all up to me. And so if nothing happened, then it was my fault, and I'd go into the shame and blame and all that stuff. This is so much gentler for the practitioner because we're just showing up in love and acceptance and trust that nervous system knows exactly how to heal, and we are simply there to support it in doing so.
Yeah, it's a wonderful process to be able to do, not only for myself, but for when I work with others as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, let's maybe talk a little bit about what the Discover program actually looks like, and then maybe you can talk a little bit about your experience of some of the techniques too. So I love this program. I'll just say that right out loud. I have really poured my heart and my soul into this program. It has been 30, 40 years in the making. The foundational piece, of course, is safety. A real cellular experience of safety. And that's really where we start, is how to recognize when you or your client is not feeling safe in the moment, in life, in relationship, and then teaching techniques right off the bat for how we help that client move to a place of safety. And it's so fundamentally important, because if we don't know how to do that, then I don't think we should be working with people. Because everything comes from that. If the system isn't safe, there will be no growth, there will be no learning, and there will be no healing.
I agree. Even the way the program is set up on day one, the first morning, you know, everything is so well thought out, and the people coming in actually have time to be able to absorb material before they're having to do anything themselves. And it's just a nice, graceful approach to the teaching, I find, as well.
I love that word, graceful, right? That's the idea of just giving the nervous system, like we're practicing what we preach in Discover, but just giving those nervous systems, systemi, it's the plural of system, nervous system, just giving it the little piece that it can handle, not too much, not too soon, not too fast.
Yeah.
Really like layering and approaching things different ways so that they can just take the little piece that they're ready for. And so it's really, really structured to have that kind of safety first mentality.
It is. And I also really appreciate the community that we have. Even though it's online, somehow we are connected beautifully. You bring us all together, Nancy, and I really appreciate that as well. Even when we're all in, could be different parts of the world. Who knows?
Exactly.
But we're connected and we're held and we are together.
Yeah. And purposely, the numbers are kept so small for the Discover program, you know, maybe a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, depending. But the program does tend to fill because I think that's what relationship takes, you know, to be really seen and heard. You know, programs which have so many people in them, they have their place, they're mostly knowledge-based, and that's all great. But that's not what Discover is about. Discover is really an experience, so that people can take the experience that they had and start taking that out into the world for themselves, for their clients. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then sorry, go ahead.
All right, go ahead. I'm just even thinking how people connect within the training with the other people who are learning as well. Like even the relationships that kind of spark and start from there.
Yes,
are really neat to see.
Yeah, and really just watching all those protective places that we have, understandably, when we come into a training with people that we don't know, and watching those just melt, and watching the vulnerability, and watching people understand. It's like, there's nothing that I'm experienced that everybody else hasn't experienced too, right? We're human beings having this human experience.
Yeah.
So we start with the safety, real focus on the safety. And then as the safety is established, then we start looking at all of the little pieces, the emotional pieces, the sensation pieces, the thoughts and the mind and the behavior. And we really start exploring what's going on in the nervous system in all those different channels. And so that's really, we call that digging for the aspects. And there's lots of different techniques that we teach and practice, demonstrate and practice. But then it all culminates in this, what we're calling phase 4, the conscious creation, right? So once we know how to create safety, and then how to start releasing some of these energetic stuckages, although I'm not sure that word exists, stuckages, stuckness, blockages, stuckages, to release the energy of those, it's like, now we have to do something with that energy before it dissipates. And so we spend a lot of time in that conscious creation phase. This is the neuroplasticity. How do we actually go about changing the brain, changing what's happening in the body in order to change the quality of life today?
Yeah, having that energy, I love what you're saying about the stuckness. And I I also really relate to when we do that phase 1 work, it starts freeing up energy that we were using to do this other thing that maybe we weren't even conscious about.
Right.
And now we have this beautiful piece of energy to mindfully use for something that we actually want or intend.
Mm-hmm. I talk about it being going down the path of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's what I love about energy work is it's happening so subconsciously that it takes us by surprise what begins to come out in terms of the possibilities that we'd never even entertained. Oh,
Yeah.
and it's just so inspiring, isn't it, when you see that happening for people? It's like they literally come alive. You can see that life energy flowing through them.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. So what is it that excites you about your mentor role for Discover? You've done it often enough. There must be something that you really like about it.
I do. Well, first of all, actually, I feel really safe.
Oh.
Number one, I feel safe in that in my mentoring role. I feel well looked after.
Oh, good.
Not only, by you and the container that you build, Nancy, but you've also taught me how I can be safe within myself personally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a two-way there for me. The container, it's a safe container.
Yeah.
So even as a mentor, I come in and I really truly appreciate the container of safety that is built. Mm-hmm. Number one, or else I wouldn't be doing the mentoring.
No, and
that's
you shouldn't.
Important to me. If we're highly sensitive, that's important to me.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I also really enjoy the people who come to learn.
Absolutely. There's no accident, is there?
They are just amazing people. So I enjoy spending time with them. I think I understand the importance of upholding the teachings when we're doing the mentoring. I take it very seriously at upholding the techniques that are being taught, and kind of always knowing and understanding, like, what would Nancy do? And so as I'm going along, and I'm being maybe asked a question, if I can, help to answer a question, I will. And it's okay if I don't know the answer as well, because I'll find out, or we'll find out the answer, because it's in a safe place. Yeah. But, and I also actually enjoy the other mentors that I work alongside with. They're a great bunch of people.
I was thinking about this the other day, Nicole, that when we do our breakout rooms to practice, and the mentor goes into the breakout room so people have the support right there and then, and we, people take on different roles. They'll be the practitioner, or they'll be the client, or they'll be the observer. And all of those roles have such richness. Like, the learning is different depending on the role. But then for you, you also have the role as mentor, which brings you a whole richness of experience. And then for me, of course, I'm the mentor of the mentors. So there's that role as well. That it's so inspiring.
It is. And when I hear someone ask, say, I need to be an observer right now.
Right.
And that they're in a place and space that it's okay to voice what they need. And it's okay. And it's okay to make a mistake, or sometimes things are messy when we're learning new things.
Sometimes, most often, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know it is for me. I just, but yeah. And so, and even to watch the people learning their progression over the 3 days, and they might have come in a certain way on day 1 in the morning, and by day 3 in the afternoon, just their transformation, even within the time being together in just those 3 days, you can really see. a
Yeah.
transformation in them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's really why we do this, isn't it? Because that, as human beings, we just resonate with that with each other, and it's just so healing for everybody involved. Such a
It
privilege.
is.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
it's a privilege to have you be involved as a mentor, and you're such a prime example of the kind of people that are attracted to be mentors in the Discover program. So, thank you so much for that. I would just so appreciate you being involved. And for people who are listening to us, if you're interested in learning more about our Discover the Power of Conscious EFT program, just go to the website. It's nefti.com/DTP for Discover the Power. So Nefti is NEFTTI.com/DTP. And if you'd like to connect with Nicole, then she's at her website, which is NicoleTomingas.ca. You're housed here with me in Canada. And I'm sure you'd be thrilled to hear from anybody and offer them great support.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. And take good care.
You too.